I've had a lot of people ask me about the targeted adjustment tool, and I use it quite a bit and have used it in some of my other tutorials. And today I'm going to delve into the targeted adjustment tool, where you can find it, how you can use it. The first place you'll find the targeted adjustment tool is in the tone curve panel. The targeted adjustment tool is this little bullseye up in the left-hand corner of the panel. And if you click it, you've got an up and down arrow, which means you can drag directly inside the image, in this case, to change the tone curve. Now, I want to brighten the shadows a bit in this image. So notice when I place the tone curve over shadows in the image, there's also a point on my tone curve. I want to back up a second. There are two types of tone curves you can work with. You can work directly on the tone curve by clicking a point on the tone curve or using the targeted adjustment tool, or you can work with specific regions by dragging sliders, highlights, lights, darks, and shadows. You still have the targeted adjustment tool available in both. I like the tone curve itself, so I'm going to select that. Now, if I click my targeted adjustment tool like I already did, I've got the double-headed arrows appear, and I'm going to go in the shadows. And see, as I drag this up to brighter areas, the point moves up on the tone curve. Now, if I click and drag up, it brightens that area. If I click and drag down, it will darken that area. You are affecting a specific point on the tonal curve range. Now, if I darken the shadows and the rest of the image is too bright, what do? I can either click in the middle of the tone curve and drag down, or I'm going to drag this off. Actually, I'm going to reset the curve to linear. Going to drag into the shadows again with the targeted adjustment tool. Brighten that area, and now I'm going to darken the highlights and the mid-range so they show up a little bit better. There, now that's in the tone curve. One thing I didn't point out, in the tone curve, you can double-click point curve to reset it to linear. Now let's go into the HSL color and black and white panel. If I click HSL, I have hue, saturation, and luminance. Now if I click hue and click the targeted adjustment tool, I'm going to drag inside this blue, and notice it's already highlighted blue. If I drag down, it turns it more aqua. If I drag up, it turns it more of a bluish purple. And I can just go to another point in here, this reflection, and if I drag down, this is affecting the yellows. Notice it's turning it more to a reddish. If I drag it up, it will turn it more to a greenish hue. That's hue. I'm just going to double click hue to reset this. Now I'm going to go to saturation, and again I click my targeted adjustment tool, and if I want to saturate these blues, I just click and drag up. And notice it's only affecting blue and a little bit of aqua, because typically when you click a color in an image, it's a mixture of more than one color. And Lightroom detects that when you put your cursor over the area. Now I'm going to drag down, and notice I'm desaturating the blues and turning it more into a grayscale. Again, I can double click saturation to return this to its default. Let me just click and drag one other area inside the image. I'm going to do these reds here. If I drag down, I desaturate the red, and if I drag up, I saturate the red. So you can use the targeted adjustment tool with hue, saturation, and luminance to draw attention to specific points in your images. And when you're done, you can just click Done. I'm going to select another image to show you what this would be like with blue. I've got a blue sky here. Actually, I'm going to pause the lesson and I'm going to find one with some clouds in it. Now, here's an image with some clouds. So I'm in the HSL panel again, Luminance. I will click my targeted adjustment tool and drag down in the sky. And notice it is affecting the blue slider, and the color is becoming more dense and making the clouds show up. I can go the other way, but in this case, I'm going to drag down because I want to make the clouds pop. The targeted adjustment tool is not available in the color part of the panel, but black and white, now that's another story. When I click black and white, Lightroom automatically creates a black and white mix based on the color. Now to me, the sky is way too light. So again, I can click my targeted adjustment tool and drag down in the sky to darken the sky and make the clouds pop more. And I can do this in any area of the image. So for a quick review, the targeted adjustment tool is available in the tone curve panel, and you can adjust the tone curve, adjust specific tones, dark tones, light tones, or bright tones. And here I'm just going to drag up again to show you I am brightening the shadow areas of the image by dragging up. Now I'm going to drag the clouds down to darken the rest of the image. And that's in the tone curve. So I'm going to readjust this, and then in the HSL panel, you can change hue, saturation, and luminance by clicking the target adjustment tool and dragging inside the image. Let's say I wanted to desaturate these greens. I choose saturation and drag down inside the greens. Or I can go the other way to saturate them. So those are just a few examples of what you can do with the targeted adjustment tool that appears in the tone curve and the HSL panel.